We have talked on this program so many times about whether single mothers get the job done and whether that's enough for a young kid. Male or female, I don't care, boy or girl. I think, I hate to sound like a knuckle dragger or a Neanderthal, which some people might want to paint me as, but I think boys and girls need a mom and a dad. I do. I really do. I do believe that's the optimum situation. And I have heard a parade of single mothers calling in here and telling me they take care of their business. They don't. But the bottom line is, I don't think anything of a rat's ass about the kids themselves. We got a call from a listener named Diana. And Diana was honest enough to tell us about her very, very serious situation with her son. And in case you did not hear this phone call, all you single mothers out there who think you're taking care of your business, who think that you can do it on your own and you don't need a man around, well, listen to Diana tell the story her way.
I am on my way to the psychiatric hospital to visit my son, who threatens suicide because he does not have a father in his life. I wish I had heard of you when I was a teenager. I got married too young. I picked an idiot. I'm an idiot. I screwed up. And my son is crushed. So all of these women who think that they can handle it, you know, disaster could be just around the corner.
Yeah.
I have a little boy who wants to die because he does not have a dad.
How did he get into the psychiatric hospital? What happened?
He wrote a couple of notes, and he took and hid some pain and anxiety medicine that could have accomplished the deal. And he's diagnosed emotionally disturbed, gets an IEP in school and SSI. You know, one loving parent is not enough, and I married too young. He told me to go off the pill and do the Catholic family planning. I was an idiot. I screwed up big time, and my best is not good enough. And all of these women that think that they are doing their children, you know, a fair deal, they're deluding themselves, and the kids are going to pay. I mean, I hate it, but it's the fact. I wish that I could go back in time and change things, but I can't.
Now, I imagine that, like many of the women who've called in, you're able to pay your bills and take care of the basic needs of your son.
Well, I used to be able to before I got disabled. I was working in the computer field. I'm a Microsoft systems engineer, but with a downturn in the economy plus carpal tunnel, skills get dated quickly. And no, I am currently being assisted by a charity that helps women and children avoid or get out of homelessness. I am not able to work due to fibromyalgia, carpal tunnel, etc. And basically, I've spent the last couple of years trying to attend to my son's psychological needs and have not been able to stabilize things on my own. You know?
What do you think of these women who call in here and say, well, I can take care of my business?
They're rationalizing. They are rationalizing. You know, my son's father, he hasn't seen him in a year and a half. He visits about maybe once a year, and in the meanwhile doesn't maintain a relationship, okay? It is my fault that I did not know enough to choose a better partner, okay? The only thing I can say in my defense is that I wasn't taught how to choose. I wish I had heard of you when I was 19, all right? But all I can do is try to keep him alive and get him therapy and hope that he doesn't take that step that he's been talking about. He is 11. He is 11, and he wants to die because he does not have a dad.
Wow. Wow. How is your family reacting to all of this?
Well, they're generally supportive, but my family isn't the greatest to start out with, which is probably why I ended up married too young as it was, you know. My parents divorced when I was in junior high, so I was raised by a single mother, me and my 3 brothers. And, well, there's just a lot of human wreckage that goes along with it.
I don't think people realize.
I had to leave my husband because he was abusive, and I tried to go to college, but my son's emotional needs, he could not manage being in daycare, got thrown out. He is just... One of the reasons he's in the psych ward is because he drew a picture of his father with compound fractures in every limb and spears and knives sticking into him because he's so angry at not having a dad. And in one of his suicide notes, he said that there are pieces of me, 2 loving, caring parents, and I have one, but without the other, I will be a wreck forever, and I feel so sad I want to die. That is his suicide note.
And he's 11.
He is 11, and he has been expressing murderous intent for his father since 1998. That's the first time I got him into therapy, and he has been off and on expressing suicide since 2nd grade. This child is in pain because he does not have a dad. I tried to get him a stepfather, and that made it worse. Okay? So don't... You're right to tell people not to date single mothers. In fact, just tell single mothers not to date. You have a kid, you just deal with it and don't involve anybody else.
Yeah.
I gotta try. I only get an hour to visit him every night, so I'm gonna be late if I don't go.
Okay.
But
you don't know how much good this does to tell this story to people on the radio.
I gotta go.
All right.
You take care, okay?
All right. Thank you, Diana.
Bye.
There goes Diana. Now, we've heard from all the big-mouth single mothers who call in here, open up their traps, telling us how it doesn't affect their kids not having a dad around. We've heard from them, and I think I've heard about enough. I want to talk to those of you who don't have a dad around. Hopefully with your single mother out of the room. Now, you could be an adult who grew up without a dad around, and you could certainly tell us how that affected you. But I'd also like to hear from people who are 18, 15, 12, 9, 6. I don't care how young you are. If you can dial a telephone, you can call me and tell me what it's like not having a dad around. Now, it could be that your mom was never married to your dad, or you don't know who your dad is. It could be that your mom was married to your dad and then he bolted for whatever reason. It could be that you are a test tube baby, a result of in vitro fertilization, surrogate motherhood. Your mother thinks that she can handle everything, can handle both roles. How good is she at that? Let's hear from the victims. Let's see if women are handling their business. Let's see if they're doing that. So if you are the child of a single mother, whether you are 6 or 26, I'd like to hear from you right now.
Tom, oh yeah, Leykis. Tom, Leykis.
She's giving you an ultimatum. You know what I say about women who give you ultimatums?
Yeah?
Dump that bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Okay. Those of you who grew up without a dad around, let's hear how well your mother is taking care of business. Taking care of her business. She's taking care of her business. Yeah. Let's hear how the customer feels about that. It's Sam on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Sam.
How are you, Father?
I'm okay, son.
You're the father I wish I never had, man.
No, I'm the father you never had. I'm not. The father you wish you never had is somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, not to give anything away from my mom. My mom was a great lady, but my dad never wanted anything to do with me. When I was born, I had a rare blood disorder. My mom had to take him to court to give me blood in order for me to live. Didn't find any of this stuff out until I was about into the 8th grade of junior high.
That's a good time to find out, too. You're 13.
Yeah.
Got the usual puberty problems. Then your mom lays that on you.
Well, I found out on my own.
How'd you find out?
Just doing research and just looking around, answering questions, and, I wasn't really upset. I think it more hit me that, oh, my God, he didn't want to do anything with me, and then I went through a rocky, went through Prozac, went to see help and everything else. You know, people who think, oh, there's just easy. It took a long time for me to, you know, trust my mom. And you know what? Now me and her are really good friends and everything, but there's a hard time for kids to go from that stage and believing everything. And, you know, it's weird. I mean, people always say, oh, I can do fine as a single parent. You can't, because you know what? Your single parent's there, but they also have to work to take care of you. And so then you miss something because you're not there all the time.
Right. So what did this do to you?
It sent me on an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I messed up in high school, messed around in high school and junior high, totally went from A's to pretty much D's and E's, you know. I'm still working on getting back. I'm now in college, thank God, you know, going to pharmacy, but, you know, I went through pills. I went, you know, got very angry, went really suicidal. I wanted to kill him. Like, oh, you know what, I'm going to find him, I'm going to hurt him, because you know what, he had no right to do this to me or you know.
And I'll bet your mother thought she was doing a great job.
She does. She still does. And you know what she did? I'm a good guy now.
She did the best she could do, but she was not a mother and a father.
No.
And you needed your father.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm not putting down your mother. I'm saying she can't be both people.
Exactly. And I agree, you know, I agree with you. You know, it's not an easy thing for a mother or even a guy to take care of a kid, because you can't be both. You can't be in two places at one time.
Did you have any male role models as a kid?
I had my grandfather who passed away in September. He was my best friend. He was like my father to me, so yes.
Uh-huh.
But it's still not the same, you know.
I hope all the women thinking of having babies without men around, I hope they're hearing this stuff, because
exactly.
This is what they're in denial about. This is what they don't want to hear a word you're saying.
Exactly.
Because they just want to do whatever they want to do.
And you know what? You are the truth. I mean, you know, I agree with you about 90% of the stuff. And you know, some people don't, but you know what? This you're totally on about. You know, parents do need, you know, teenagers, adults, they need to understand what they're getting themselves into before they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once it's done, there's no way going back.
No doubt about it.
So.
Sam, thank you for telling us that story.
Can you take me out screaming orgasm style?
Of course I can, Sam. Here you go.
Oh, God. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
This is Rose on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Rose.
I can so relate to this subject. I didn't have my father. I didn't grow up with my father at all. I remember the first day of kindergarten, we all sat on the carpet, and, you know, the teacher's question was, you know, tell us about your mommy, your daddy, your brothers, and your pet. I felt like I was the only one in the class who didn't have a dad. My mom came skipping we skipped back to the car, and I remember I asked her, I said, Mom, how come I don't have a dad? And, you know, my mom tried to break it to me as easy or the best way she could, and I just remember clenching with anger and crying in the back seat because it wasn't good enough.
You probably didn't even know how to tell her that.
No, I didn't. But I cried. I was so angry inside. What, am I not good enough, damn it? You know, what's wrong with me? And I remember thinking, was I supposed to be a boy?
Does your mom know you feel this way?
She knows. She knows. She hears me out, and you know, she respects it. And, I mean, I love her. She did the damn best she could.
Was she ever married to your dad?
Yeah, they were married for a very short time, but he left before I was born and saw me one time. And, you know, even I remember the day, I wondered what he looked like. You know, what did he smell like? What did he look, you know, they said I had his smile. I didn't know a damn thing about him. And I remember I was 15 years old, and I promised myself I would not have children until I was married. And, you know, time went by, I had a good time and started going out. But at 19, I got pregnant. And, you know, against my religious beliefs, you know, I wasn't supposed to have an abortion.
You also weren't supposed to have sex. Amazing how women find religion after they go out and have sex, which the religion says not to have.
You know what? We do what we do, but I made my choice. And I had an abortion, and, you know, I asked for forgiveness to my God, and I was forgiven. In my heart, I believe I was forgiven, and I did the right thing.
Good for you.
And, you know, I used to wonder, oh, gosh, you know, 15, 20, I don't know how 15, maybe 16, you know, the child would be, but I didn't want my baby to feel the way I did.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm a very strong person, and here I am, 35 years old, and I realize now why I'm still single. And it's because, you know, if my own daddy didn't want me, what man out there is going to really want me? If the number one man in my life didn't care about me, didn't love me, what man is truly going to love me? And it took me years and years to understand. And
So were you in therapy?
no, I was never in therapy, but I think being alone and being single and not being preoccupied with children and other things that life kind of take you through, I think just giving myself time and learning about myself, I realized that, you know, it's not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not about me. It's about him.
Yeah.
And this is the way I accept it, and this is the way I learn to live, and this is what makes me happy. You know, it took a lot of time, years for me to help myself break through it and get strong and understand that, you know what, this is my life now, and I have a choice. Either I'm going to let the past go and be happy for the rest of my years, or I'm going to dwell on it.
Now, tell us this also. I imagine you've had boyfriends. I imagine you dated. What happened in all of these cases?
I could never make an emotional connection. Physically, it was no problem. Okay, that's easy. But, you know, I could never connect emotionally with anybody because I was afraid of rejection.
So these guys couldn't figure out what was wrong with you?
You know, I don't think you let it get that far. When I thought we were getting too close, I'd do something stupid to break it off.
Wow.
Because I wanted to feel like I'm the one that ended it. You know, I didn't get dumped.
You didn't want to be rejected by another man.
Right.
Wow.
And I never let it get that far. And, you know, here I am, 35 years old, and I want a family. I want to be married. And I'm just learning to open my heart to, you know, men and give them a chance. And, you know, not every man is bad. You know, and I know enough about myself to know what I like, what I don't like, and I can make intelligent, mature choices.
What would you say to all the women out there who don't think they need a man and just want to have babies?
I think they're doing it for selfish reasons. Like you said earlier, everybody does have a choice. Every woman has a choice.
Every one of them.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Okay, we've heard from any number of single mothers who are upset that I say you shouldn't have a kid unless you're married. And you know you're going to stay with somebody so that the kid has a father. These single mothers get all angry at me. Say I'm trying to make them feel guilty for something, and they get the job done. So I figured we'd talk to the products of some of the single mothers out there who think they're doing such a great job. Jordan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello?
Jordan?
Yeah?
It's Tom.
Hi.
Hi. You're 12 years old?
Yeah.
And your mom is a single mom?
Uh-huh.
Tell me the story. Did you ever know your dad?
Yes and no. 'Cause, like, I don't really remember much of him because the last time I saw him was when I was 5.
Was your mom ever married to your dad?
Yes.
But you don't remember that?
No.
And does your dad spend any time with you now or over the last 7 years?
No.
Not at all. Does he call you?
No.
Does he write to you or send you a card or anything?
Yeah, he wrote to me a few times.
Where does he live?
In Texas.
He lives in Texas. And what did your mom tell you about your dad? Why isn't she with him?
Because he did drugs and, you know, like, it made him do crazy things. And my mom told me a story about, like, when like, he used to hold the spoon up to his eye to see if there were monsters behind him in the closet, you know.
So I think we know what drug he was doing.
I don't know. He was probably, like, I know that he,
Oh, well, you need a spoon.
Yeah. Or, like, he smokes marijuana, I think, and, like, cigarettes.
Right.
And stole from people.
Mm-hmm.
And one time he threatened to sell me.
Threatened to sell you?
Yeah.
To who?
I don't know.
He threatened to sell you to someone?
Yeah.
Wow. And so your mom raised you by herself?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
Good and bad, because it's been fun with my mom, but, like, sometimes I wish I had a dad who, like, does some boy stuff.
Well, what kind of things would you like to be doing with a dad?
Playing baseball, some video games, and... Yeah.
You ever been to a baseball game?
Yeah.
Your mom took you?
Mhm.
Ever played catch?
Yeah.
With your mom?
No. Like, I've never really played catch with anyone except for my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Jeremy.
And your brother has the same dad?
No.
Different dad?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, I don't know, because, like, he's not really my brother because he's from this Big Brother company. And, like, it's for people to help, like, kids without a dad.
I see. So he's not really your brother or even your stepbrother. He's a member of the Big Brothers of America.
Yeah.
And he comes and takes you and plays catch with you, and I bet he takes you to the ball game. And what else does he do with you?
He takes me to hockey games.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey games.
That's good.
And sometimes we go to the park or go bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Walk the dogs that he has.
Yeah. But you'd like to have your own dad.
Yeah.
And when you say you'd like to have your own dad, does that mean the guy in Texas, or does that mean a guy who lives with you, who doesn't do drugs? Who are you talking about? A different guy.
Yeah, like, I wish it was my dad that I have right now, or he's not, like, my mom and him are divorced, but, like, I wish it was the dad that I have, have, because, I wish it was him if he only didn't do drugs and stuff.
So you wish he'd give up drugs and come be with you?
Yeah.
Did you ever think about wanting to live with him?
No. I want him to live with us.
Mm-hmm. How do you think your life has been different without having a dad? You know boys who have a dad. How has your life been different? How are their lives different?
Well, because like dads are more sporting and like kind of more willing to go do other things. Mm-hmm. And I've seen dads go do stuff like with their kids, but like usually it's just like me alone or me and my mom or me and my sister.
Now, has your mom had a boyfriend over these years?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, it's been fun, but like, yeah.
How does he feel about you?
He likes me.
Does he like having you around?
Yeah.
Is it like having a dad?
Wait, what?
Is it like having a dad?
Well, not really, because he only comes over at, like, sometimes Saturday or Sunday.
I see.
So
you only see him once in a while.
Yeah. He lives in Anaheim, and we live in Burbank.
Oh, boy. So you can only see him on the weekend when he's not working?
Uh-huh.
You know. And you'd like to have a dad who lives at your house.
Yeah.
Does stuff with you every day.
Uh-huh.
Who helps you with your homework.
Uh-huh.
Who goes out and plays catch with you after he comes home from work.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And does your mom know this? Does she know you feel this way?
Yeah.
And what does she tell you when you tell her you feel this way?
She says, I know, I'm trying, you know.
You mean she says she's trying to, like, hook up with some other guy so you can have a new dad?
Yeah.
I see. Wow. Well, for now, Jordan, I can be the dad you never had, at least for now.
Okay.
Is that okay? Are you a regular listener to the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
All right.
I'm in the car only.
All right. Well, I can take over some of these responsibilities here for a while, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All All right, Jordan. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I have nothing but the greatest amount of appreciation, gratitude, and respect for what you're doing here. I really thank you.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. We're talking to the people who grew up without a dad. Find out just how great that is. Because single mothers don't need a man around. That's what they say. Rachel on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
How are you?
Okay, Rachel.
Well, first I want to say that I do agree with you on quite a number of points that you've made as far as if children would like to have a dad around. I am the middle child of 3 children who grew up with a single mother, and my parents were divorced when I was 4, so I don't really remember my dad. And what I know of him now is that he's remarried to someone else with her child and giving all of his attention to her child and not his own children. So I agree with you, and I would love to have had a father that grew up being, you know, the male role model for me and showed me kind of what a man should be so that I have a role model to know how to model the men that I pick after. And also somebody to, you know, talk about guys with and kind of, you know, your all side of the story on everything and to have a different perspective on things that a mother can't give you. I don't think that one parent can give everything that both parents can give a child. But I do have to say on the other side that I am not somebody who has grown up with any rage. I never felt like I was loved less because I was raised by a single mother. I remember her constantly having all of our teachers watch us when we were in school because she couldn't always be there, especially when we were in daycare. Oh, my God. She was like an FBI agent wondering everything that we did every single minute. She went to every one of our PTA things, all of our extracurricular activities. I have a brother, and he loved baseball, and she enrolled him in Little League. She enrolled him in the city so that he could learn to do what he loved and play catch with fellow men and to kind of have men to be role modeled after.
But do you think it was the same for him?
And no, you know, I don't really think that it is fully the same. And I think that everybody tonight is working with a very generalistic and very idealistic picture of what 2 people married is. Because there are so many kids out there, my roommate for one, whose parents stayed together because of her.
Yeah, well, that's also not a good thing.
Yeah, I mean...
See, I think the biggest problem in marriage, and I say this as someone who's been divorced 4 times, I always put that proviso in there, but I think the biggest problem people have is that they don't get to know each other well enough before they get married, and then when they get married, they're in a rush to have kids, or nowadays, they don't even wait to get married. They have kids, and then maybe they get married, or maybe they don't, and I really think that people should get married, stay married for a few years, make sure they've got a solid relationship, make sure they're going to stay together.
Exactly.
And then have kids.
And I think a lot of it has to do with women with a lot of low self-esteem. They don't have enough esteem in themselves to validate themselves without a man. So they're desperate and they grasp for any man that's around, whether or not he's on drugs or an alcoholic or a wife beater or whatever the case.
No, women love to do the old makeovers. They love the Fab Five. That's what they want to do. They want to get a man and then make him over.
And I mean, I think it's generalistic to put all women in that category, but at the same time, we do see that it does happen. And I, as a woman, see it too. I have a friend, a male friend, whose girlfriend tricked him by going off the pill so that she would get pregnant and trap him into marrying her. And he, being the good guy that he was, married her. They have their child, and they have one of the worst marriages and one of the worst examples for their child that I know of. And I've tried to talk to him even and say, you know, you have to do something about this. You know, obviously focus your love on your child and make sure your child is so loved. Don't ever let her think that there is anything but love from you. But at the same time, that kind of a marriage is so destructive for a child to be around.
No doubt about it.
And I agree with you in a lot of ways that there are so many women out there that are sneaky or desperate or have low self-esteem. But for those women who aren't, and for those women who are like my mother and did get married to somebody who wound up not being obviously compatible, they got divorced, they shouldn't have been married in the first place, and they both know it. So that was a mistake on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But my sister, myself, and my younger brother have not grown up with angst. We never had to go into therapy. We didn't feel not loved. We were obviously provided for by a mother who worked her butt off and always had dinner on the table for us and always sat around the dinner table with us, never passed us off on a nanny. I mean, she had daycare every other day of the week, but they were productive, like Boys and Girls Club type activities, so that we could feel like we were being included with friends.
She did the best she could have, but if there were a dad around, it would have been better.
If there had been a dad around, it would have been different. But it depends on the father who's around as to whether or not it's better.
Oh, no doubt about that. Thanks a lot for the call.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
Usually 30 minutes of a date, you ask that $1 million question, Tom.
What's that?
Spit or swallow?
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Karen on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi. I'm actually my mom. She's a great mom. She tried her hardest, but like most parents, they make a lot of mistakes. My dad, they were together for about 3 years, and I was an accident. They had me.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, after they had me, my dad got really abusive and tried to kill her, so she had to leave him. And growing up, she was really too young to have me. She was only 21. She wanted to have a life. She went out every night partying with her friends. My grandparents pretty much raised me until I was probably about 12. And then when I was with my mom became abusive to me. She would hit me and stuff because that's the only way I guess she really knew how. When she only had her mom to raise her as well.
Uh-huh.
And her mom was abusive to her. And then my dad was, so my mom was abusive to me growing up. And growing up with my mom's boyfriends, always around new boyfriends, I was abused a couple times sexually by them. But I know my mom did try her hardest, and I'm grateful for what she did give me.
But you notice there's a thread that runs through all the calls we've gotten here. Everyone says, oh, my mom really tried hard. But there's a difference between trying hard and getting the job done. There's a difference between trying and being adequate or being superior. And I'm not hearing anybody here saying, it was just as good as having a good dad around. No, it's like, well, Mom tried.
No, I wish I had my father around. I wish.
Of course you do.
More than anything, I remember once when I was little, I was supposed to be at a Girl Scout meeting, and my dad called that night before and said he was going to come up and pick me up. I waited in my front yard all day, and he never showed, and that broke my heart. And
it still breaks your heart now, doesn't it?
Exactly, and I still, to this day, I talk to my dad now. He now lets me in his life, but the only time I see him is like he feels like he has to give me money to give me love. Like, I don't know, he's just the way he is. I wish he was just around. I wish he tucked me in once. I wish he gave me a kiss goodnight. But I'll never have that. And I only had my mom, which I'm grateful for, because I do love her, and I know she did try. But, I don't know.
But your mom made some bad decisions, and you're the victim.
Yeah, exactly. I've been put through a lot. In 18 years, I've been put through a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have seen in my life. But I really do wish, people like that, I wish they'd get married. They make sure to go, just like you say, for a few years, then decide to have kids. Even if your accidents, get an abortion, because I was an accident, and sometimes I wish I wasn't really even here.
Mm-hmm.
So all the stuff I was through.
Even now?
No, now because I know my own life, and I'm very much out of my own job. I'm getting money so I can move out, be on my own.
You what now? Wait, did you say you have your own child?
No, I have a job,
I have a job.
Yeah, I work every day, try to save up money as much as I can. I'm very mature, very responsible because of what she did instill in me. But I'm happy with my life now because I made it the way I want to be. I pretty much did everything that I wanted. I put myself, my mom wouldn't take me to school every day, so I had to find a way to go to school, to even graduate high school.
Wow. So your mom made bad decisions and you paid for them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of like everybody who called in this hour. Karen, thanks a lot for the call. Our email address is tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.